The glass slipped slightly in my hand as I passed it to him, cooler than I expected. He took it without a word, his gaze steady. "I talk better when it's warm," I said. He didn't answer, but when I stepped back inside, I heard his footsteps follow, not because I asked, but because I'd already said enough. The glass was slick with condensation. He had just finished repairing the side gate, his shirt clinging to his back, a faint smudge of dust on his arm. "You'll want it cold," I added, brushing my hand on my dress. He raised an eyebrow. "Is that so?" I let the silence stretch. Sunlight fell across my knees. I didn't move. Then I stood. The porch creaked under my bare feet. I walked to the screen door, fingertips trailing along the wood. I didn't turn around. "You can come in if you'd like," I said. Behind me, the door gave a soft groan and clicked shut. Inside, I set the pitcher on the counter. The glass tapped lightly against the ceramic. I untied my apron and folded it beside the sink, then hung it on the hook. The air was cooler, but porch heat still clung to my arms. The cabinet door creaked as I reached for another glass. My dress shifted. I didn't glance back, but I heard the floorboard behind him settle. "You always move like that?" he asked. My fingers paused. I took the glass and turned, just enough to show the corner of my smile. "Only when someone's watching." He didn't laugh. He stepped closer, slow and deliberate. His hand lifted, then dropped. I offered the second glass. Our fingers brushed, just for a moment. Then I stepped forward. We stood side by side, not touching. I rested a hand on the counter, light and still. "Come sit with me," I said, "before it's just water." We crossed the kitchen in silence, steps matching. The space between us thinned. I lowered myself onto the couch, smoothing the fabric. He followed slowly, thoughtful. His knee angled toward mine. I tilted the glass, watching the ice shift. "Won't stay cold long," I murmured. He didn't answer, but I felt his gaze on me before I turned. The room caught in a pause. He leaned slightly, like he wanted to speak. So did I. But no words came, just silence, thick and waiting. He set his glass down. I kept mine. The chill had mostly faded. We sat still, listening to everything between the lines. I shifted toward him. The couch gave a soft sigh. My hand dropped to the cushion, not touching, just near. He looked at me with a pause I couldn't name. Then I stood. Glass still in hand, I walked slowly toward the sitting room. "Follow me," I said. He did. His steps behind me were quiet, but sure. I didn't look back. I only slowed when I felt the air shift beside me. I reached for the folded blanket and set it on the couch. I heard the soft clink of his glass meeting wood. No rush, no question. I sat, smoothing my skirt. He stood a moment longer, then joined me. My fingers brushed the throw and pulled it lightly over my lap. "It's warmer here," I said. He didn't answer, but his eyes never left mine. We didn't move. The room held the pause for us. The quiet, the closeness, the unspoken understanding. Then I folded the blanket once more and laid it across both our legs. His hand stayed in his lap. Mine did too. The glass on the table began to fog. A bead slid down its side. No one reached for it. I could hear my own breathing, softer now. I wasn't sure when it changed. I turned slightly toward him, my voice low. I didn't plan any of this. He didn't reply. He didn't need to. I felt his attention, steady and still. The cushion shifted slightly as I adjusted my weight. He didn't move. I looked at my hands, then at him. "But I'm glad you came." He gave a quiet nod. Not agreement, not invitation, just presence. I leaned back into the couch, The blanket settled across our legs. The silence deepened, then a soft crack from the glass. Ice splitting. We didn't flinch. I rested my hand over the blanket, fingers light. His stayed still. We stayed that way, letting the room carry what we hadn't said. I glanced at him, not for a reaction, just to see him. Then I stood. The blanket slipped from my lap. I waited until I felt steady. Then, before I left the room, I looked over my shoulder and said, "If you want to."